Hey everyone, before the show starts this week, I just want to tell you all about a brand new free app called Podcoin. It's an app that actually pays you to listen to podcasts. Pays you in Podcoins, which you can then exchange for gift cards and other valuable items, or you can donate it to a charity of your choice. I've already benefited from this app. I got a nice gift card, gave some money to charity. It's awesome. All you have to do is download the app in the App Store or on your Android. Use the code WWTTPD and get 300 bonus pod coins just for signing up.
Ichiro-san, how are ya?
Takahashi, as I live and or breathe.
Not if I have anything to say about it later.
Aw, you
Just kidding.
Yeah, you rascal.
You're my world, you know it. Anyhow, Ichiro.
Yes.
My nephew, he was telling me about this MTVs he's really into.
Okay, with the hippin' and the hoppin'?
Right, and those grungy guys are playing music and stuff. It's all music videos all day.
It's pure Nirvana.
Most of the time, but usually only after 9. Anyway, I'm getting off.
Sorry.
This MTVs, they're looking to branch out into actual television shows.
Okay.
So, just to fill in, so they're instead of paying 24 hours of music, it's like 23. It's like an hour break with 1 or 2 shows, nothing big.
Okay, as long as we don't cut it back any more than that.
Oh, that would be impossible. We wouldn't do that.
No, it would never happen.
No, it's not like they're going to be run to shambles and turn into just a poor reality show television station.
That would be crazy.
Anyhow, again, yeah. I'm rambling here. Listen, I was able to get the filming options for one of these new television shows they're doing on the MTVs.
Okay.
And here's the pitch. This kid, he's a schmuck. He moves from Iowa to New York, thinking he's going to get an apartment for $100 a month in 90s New York.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
That's so silly.
Right. But here's the first twist. He gets an apartment because it's rent controlled. An old lady died. He pretended he was her son. So he gets the apartment. And then a double twist.
Okay.
The apartment is overrun by sentient, intelligent cockroaches. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, well, no, don't worry, Ichiro. It's not for you and me.
Okay.
That reaction you've had, all the parents are going to react like that.
There's my sandwich.
I'll buy you a new one, okay? We'll get nice lox and bagels, okay?
Okay.
So anyways, the kids, they're going to go see this movie. Right? And they're going to drag the parents because they're going to be like PG-13 or PG, so they need the parents to come with them. The parents are going to see this, and the movie is overrun with roaches. Just a minute.
Yeah, great.
I have also taken out a large investment in a new vomit cleaning product. So, kids pay to see the movie. The parents pay to see the movie. The parents then vomit, due to the huge amount of roaches in this thing. Not to mention spoiled food and whatnot. Then they have to use our vomit cleaning product to clean up their vomit. When this movie comes out, you know what happens.
That's when the money rolls in.
Pick a movie. That's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me. What were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Welcome
to Joe's apartment. We hope you like your stay.
Okay.
What?
Just me? Well, way to give away the title of the movie.
Well, it would have already been given away.
It's in the episode title. I kid.
Okay.
People don't read.
You might be wondering who that other voice is. And if you are, then you haven't listened before, because he's been on a number of times. But first of all, Nathan. You are Nathan, right?
I am Nathan.
Okay. And I'm Brendan. And this is What Were They Thinking? Where we talk about a bad to questionable movie every week and break it down. And in order to do that this week, though, we have some help. We have Brent from the Home Video Hustle.
Hello there.
And he has brought along the Spirit.
Hey, yo.
AKA the Spirit who gave us Freestyle.
Yeah. I think y'all got your revenge, I think, not to spoil it too much.
I think that's going to be a prevalent theme throughout this episode.
Well, oh boy. We're going to talk about the 1996 film Joe, and I use the word film loosely. Joe's Apartment.
I mean, it's anybody can make a movie. It takes art to make a film.
Yeah, let's call it a movie then.
So this ain't a part of the Criterion Collection, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
It is going to be on the channel, guys. Make sure you use the promo code Brent Hustle for 30% off.
Joe's Apartment Criterion Collection.
Making a note of that.
Just imagine the cover.
Oh god.
Well, knowing their taste for artistic collector's type boxes, made with real roaches, maybe? I'm not sure.
Good lord.
Real roaches in the box.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god. With like googly eyes you can attach to them.
It'd be like those glitter bombs that you send people. You just open up the box and roaches fly out.
And there's not even a disc, it's just a prank.
Let's do it. Crowdfunded. Kickstarter.
No, thank you. So we were talking about Joe's Apartment, which I guess I watched the short that, I guess there were several shorts, but there was one 3.5-minute short that is also used in this movie. Like that short is a scene in the movie.
Okay.
And it's 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And you know what? This movie is for anyone who watched that 3.5-minute short and said, but what about Joe? I want to know his story. Perhaps this could be achieved in 77 minutes. This movie cost $13 million.
Jesus.
How?
Did anyone see what it made? And if you did, maybe don't.
I saw what it said.
Okay.
Not
Nathan, do you know
enough.
what it made?
3 million.
Oof.
A little bit more.
Okay, 4?
4.6 million.
Oof. Barely, not just barely half its money back.
Yeah. And I think this was MTV's first movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So not the greatest way to get your foot in the door.
Well, no, and it was because of this movie that they were kind of hesitant to make the Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah. That did a little better.
Considerably. You know why? Because you can stretch that premise out to 90 minutes. And also, it's a cartoon, so it's considerably cheaper to make.
Yeah. CGI roaches, everyone. Enjoy.
1996 CGI roaches at that.
Yeah.
But this is 1996, starring Jerry O'Connell of what's the show you said? My Secret Identity.
My Secret Identity.
I know him from Sliders.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what most people know him from. Yeah.
And Scream 2.
He
And Kangaroo Jack.
When's that coming up on the podcast?
Oh,
he still hasn't said Stand By Me.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the good movies that he's in.
Bam.
Yeah, no. The first time I was exposed to Jerry O'Connell, and that sounds wrong in all kinds of way, but
He was like, "Let me show you my slider."
"Hey, pal, you want to see something that was inside Rebecca Romaine's Stamos?"
Yes. Oh, that
Anyhow.
wasn't. Oh, sorry. That was a trick question. My bad.
Right. The first time I'd ever seen him in anything was I think it was Canadian. Mm-hmm. If not, it would have had like a relationship with like the PAX network or something in the States. But yeah, it was a show called My Secret Identity about this kid who gets superpowers, and I would have rather watched that turn into a movie than this.
Yeah. No, and because that actually had like a plot.
Yes.
That had a what, Brent?
Plot.
There you go.
Yeah, because again, this is based on a 3.5-minute short in which a man invites a girl to his house and roaches fall on her and she runs out grossed out. Like that's the basis for this movie. This is a little bit more. They're going on a little bit more than the Garbage Pail Kids movie did.
Yeah, because that was only trading cards, so
Right.
At least there was actually something put to film to inspire this one.
Well, guys, we've got 77 minutes of movie, so we better get into it. We get a nice, beautiful musical intro by the Roaches, welcoming us to Joe's apartment right from the get-go. Some wonderful computer effects. As one of the roaches flies through the whole city.
Yes.
I did not know. Maybe it's just because like I've rarely ever seen a cockroach. I did not know cockroaches could fly, and that is terrifying.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea. We don't get them up here, man.
You're lucky.
Not usually. We can, but it's...
So we're
Yeah.
moving. We're moving.
We get silverfish.
Yeah, they're gross, but they're not as big as roaches.
No, but they're still disgusting.
The only time I've ever seen a cockroach was when I was in the States.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying, Brendan, is we have to make a Canadian version of this, but with sentient silverfish.
Brendan's apartment.
I saw one silverfish in my apartment, and I was almost ready to move out that day.
I thought you loved all the animals and shit.
There are exceptions. So we meet Joe, played by Jerry O'Connell, a young, wide-eyed Iowan who comes to the big city to fulfill his dream, I guess?
Are you reading the back of the video case?
Nope.
Right.
I just don't know why he came to the city. I think he just came to New York because it's the thing to do, I guess.
Because plots.
There we go.
Okay.
I got you. I'm here, man.
Because that's where you go when you live in Iowa.
You go to New York?
To New York.
Come to Iowa, where you can soon leave for New York.
Wait, is it closer to New York or closer to California?
New York, I think.
I'm
This
asking the Americans, Brendan.
Oh, hey,
Like
the
we know.
Americans don't know. So. Look it up on your phone real quick. Not
Siri.
Quest. GPS, Siri, somebody.
Gave you a chance to shine and you blew it.
Yeah, blew it,
Should I
kid.
Google a map
You
of the-
blew it.
We're not real Americans. We're not Jack Swagger out here.
There we go.
Reference.
Got it in.
Oh, and Brent got it in first.
Yep. That's what she said.
Good job.
Hey.
All I know is I live in the state that looks like a heart. That's where I keep it at.
So Joe arrives and is robbed 3 times in succession.
You know, I laughed at that. I actually made a note of how many times I laughed. It wasn't a lot, but I did laugh at that.
But guys, we robbed Joe.
It does look like it's closer to New York.
Where is Iowa? Oh, I see it.
We don't even know where it's at.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely closer to New York than it is to Cali. It's like almost in the midway, like the Nebraska, the next state over would be
There
like
go the
midway.
Iowa fan base. They
So
don't even know where the fuck we are.
so Joe gets robbed 3 times in a row, and like I said, we're robbing him because the camera does this like obnoxious MTV thing where just like the camera is just smacking Joe in the face.
Well, I guess we'd be the mugger's fist or weapon.
You hear the voiceover of him like writing a letter to his mother, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like, if he's writing a letter and he's stopping himself after each robbery and being like, okay, I need money. Oh, okay, I need this. Oh, okay, I need that. Like, when is he writing that letter?
Maybe he's just workshopping it as he's
Yeah.
Because
walking through New York.
it seems like he should be writing it in between muggings. Like,
Brendan, I'm gonna tell you right now from jump, you gotta stop thinking when it comes to this movie, man. You really gotta stop that.
I want to pull it apart.
Makes an excellent point.
I want to pull it apart like a cockroach.
Why would you pull it apart? Just flush it.
I'm interested in science.
There go the cockroach fan base.
Oh shit, we lost all -5 of them. So he's trying to find an apartment for like $150 a month. Good luck. And he runs into like a suicide artist. This guy just laying in the street, who he assumes has like killed himself, but then he gets up and he's like, well, it's been 2 days since anyone checked on me.
Yes, he was lying there the whole... And no one's touched him, and spitting didn't count.
Right.
Yeah.
And hilariously, his name is Walter Shit.
That's a stage name. Fucking artists.
I just thought it was like SCHITT or something.
Oh, no.
That's
or
too
like
much effort.
like the Schitt's Creek television show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Comes on after Impact Wrestling.
So, where are we here? So yeah, Walter Shit. And he says, well, what you got to do to get a rent-controlled apartment is you got to find somewhere... basically, they're not available because they're all getting... the tenants are all getting kicked out from one loophole or another.
Or straight up almost murdered.
Yeah, well, as we find out, we meet the two thugs that are going into this apartment and trip up an old lady, the last tenant in this building, who goes out down this huge flight of stairs and is perfectly okay. Because I think... Nathan, we might hit this a few times during this movie. This is basically a cartoon.
Essentially, yeah.
Like,
and you could tell because it's got a real jaunty Russian music to go along with her tumbling down the umpteen flights of stairs.
Like with any other music, this would be a horror film.
Right.
But she gets up and is fine, but then as soon as Walter Shit is like, hello, she has a heart attack and dies.
Right.
Throwing her keys in the air, caught by Joe. And that's when we get, oh, Joe, you should pretend that she's your mom, and then you'll get the apartment, and then you'll have that rent-controlled apartment you want for like about $50 or whatever the fuck it is.
It was $150 a month.
Yeah.
I wish.
In New York in the mid-90s.
Oh, we did skip over the bit where he's going from apartment to apartment, and it's like $1,300, and there's like holes in the ceiling and shit.
And it was a joke then, but it's definitely not a joke now.
Brent, is that you seem to like that scene?
Not really.
Oh, your laugh sounded pretty genuine.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to make them sound a little more ungenuine.
Okay, try again.
There you go.
Ha 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 ha.
For notes, check out our episode of Muck or Postal.
Postal's hilarious. I'm so mad y'all didn't call me for that episode.
Would have just been an hour and a half of arguing.
Yeah, probably, because we're telling y'all that movie's great.
Awful.
Greatly overrated, and it's still bad.
Sorry, me and PJ will do it one day.
Well, you guys have fun with that.
Don't subject him to that. He's a nice guy. Don't subject him to that.
I got a funny story with Postal. Can I tell y'all real quick?
Sure,
why not?
Fuck Joe's apartment. I showed Postal to my uncle. He was dying. He fucking loved it. He took it to the bar with him when he went. They put it on at the bar. He said everybody in the bar was cracking up. Granted, they probably were drunk off their ass, but they laughed though.
Because they were like, oh, at least we're all better than Postal. Oh, I have a note here. Why is Garrett Morris slowly creeping up on Joe?
Yo, I thought the same thing, man.
Yeah, right?
Because there's like an old guy behind him. I was like, is that Garrett fucking Morris?
Cameos, man. That's where that budget went.
Yeah.
We gotta get Morris. That's like $10 right there.
That'll get the kids in.
That'll get the kids in. The kids that would have watched him 20 years ago.
Go for that Saturday Night Live audience.
Get that Saturday Night Live season 1 audience.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you didn't go see it, Brendan?
What?
Said you didn't go see it?
I didn't even know it existed until Nathan suggested the movie.
Oh, this is your fault, huh? This is on you.
Me, yeah. Because
okay.
here's
remember
that. You do. Because for everybody else who has their Serbian film or what have you, this is my Serbian film.
Really? Is that...
I have seen this movie a few times. And when I sat down to watch it, Patty never recalled seeing it. And I'm like, am I that awful? Yes, I am. And she watched the whole thing with me. She was nearly sick several times.
Same.
Family bonding.
Oh, so Joe's in his new apartment, and it's great. It's in great shape, and it very quickly I think we beat the cockroaches very quickly, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just to give everybody an idea, because I know Brent's going to want to hear this, we should really play a little bit of the cockroaches singing, because this becomes a recurring thing in this movie. So just for Brent and the spirit, because I know they're ready. Here's a little taste.
Garbage in the moonlight gives off a lovely smell. Sipping sewage with my baby in our little roach motel. Please don't tell. Zoom, 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 zippity zoom, 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 then an ocean trip on a garbage ship with a cockroach I adore. We'll take a taste of the medical waste that washes up on shore. Oh, sweetheart, say you love me and crawl underneath my rug. You're 1 in 1,000 billion, baby. Oh, won't you be my bug? Won't you be my bug? Please be my bug.
Now imagine that 5 times.
All the listeners are gone.
Brandon, you just can't play the soundtrack and call it an episode.
What were they thinking? The end.
It's over. They left, man. Only listeners left for the deaf ones now.
How am I going to sign over a podcast?
You ain't never heard of that Braille podcasting, man? That's that new shit.
Oh, I got to hire some people then.
You gotta get on that, B.
It's called the newspaper.
Newspaper, what's that?
Well, the Braille version. It's the new Braille podcast you were talking about.
The Braille
it's called
pod.
the news. There you go.
So, the cockroaches are there. Joe does not know they can talk yet. He just sees one of them land on a piece of his toast, and then he eats it anyway because he's disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can only surmise that by watching his disgusting habits, I'm gonna guess he dies very young, because he takes a lot of risks.
Yeah, and he lives in a lot of filth.
So later on, Joe is on the bus and he catches a glimpse of Lily. Beautiful Lily, and he is instantly in love. But then he returns home and sees someone falling off the side of his building outside his window. And he calls... Now this is the thing... You know, okay, Nathan, we talked about the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Yes.
The state home for the ugly or whatever.
Right.
This was a weird thing in this movie too. It's like the Central Complaint Center.
Yeah, because he tried to call 911 and they put him on hold.
Yeah, so he calls something called the Central Complaint Center, which is like everyone answering just saying, "No, I don't know what to do. Please hold."
I'm guessing it was for city services.
I did think it was kind of weird that he got Lily on the phone there. Like, why have both of those scenes of him seeing her and like the phone call that he does?
I mean, I gotta go back to what Brent said earlier. You're putting too much thought into this.
Nathan, that's what we do.
Oof. Not for some movies.
But then
Right.
the call is broken up because it's time for a coffee break. And Nathan, who yells that it's time for a coffee break? Do you know?
No.
It's Pepa of Salt and Pepa.
Oh,
Losing
okay.
hip hop cred, man.
Sandra Denton.
Oh shit, got the real name. Damn.
Oh yeah, I got the names.
Kayfabe.
Yeah. She plays the best friend role. And just basically is there to be like, I don't know why you want to plant flowers. That's not my thing, etc. Like she's very firmly in the role of just the best friend who repeats everything Lily says back to her.
And I have a note here about the Central Complaint Department, and when they have their regimented 15-minute break, and everybody puts everybody on hold, and they get up in unison and take their coffee break. I was like, man, Yui Bowl, that is how you do corporate humor.
Boom.
That's funny though, because that's not American. They don't give us breaks.
Maybe that was Jerry O'Connell using
Well,
his Canadian knowledge.
If they're in New York working for the city, they're probably unionized.
Works hard for the city.
What was that?
What?
What was that? Do that again?
Brendan started saying she works hard for the city.
That's exactly what I did.
So
did and
hard
do.
for the city.
She works hard for the city, so you better treat it right.
Okay. That's not the rhyming scheme, but it works better.
Well, I'm just going to say it like that.
Music fans have left now, too. Y'all just keep losing listeners, man.
Okay, we still got the Cockroach fans.
There you go.
So now we meet Lily's father, Senator Doherty, who
aptly played by Robert Vaughn.
Well, he has kind of a subplot that they don't really do anything with.
His fetish for women's underwear?
And just like women's clothing, but also like women's jewelry.
He's a cross-dresser.
He's a cross-dresser, and at first when they introduced that, I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, I was wondering.
I was like, "Oh no, where is this gonna go?"
No, it's 90s MTV. It's just exactly. It's a Beavis and Butthead throwaway line about a guy dressing in women's underwear.
Yeah, I just assumed 96. Like, you never know where that's gonna go.
Worse.
But there's literally 2 scenes where they reference it, or 3, I guess, and then that's basically it. Like, it doesn't go anywhere with it. I was like, oh no, are they gonna make him like the villain, and then he's also cross-dressing? Like, it could have come off more dated than it was, but thankfully it did not.
Okay.
Are you saying this was progressive for its time?
It's a very progressive film. I think the spirit will agree with me.
I mean, it is MTV. I wasn't too shocked.
But Senator Doherty is meeting up with a crime boss played by Don Ho.
Who?
Don Ho.
Why are you talking about that man like that?
Oh, sorry. Don. Don less than moral Ho. But he's a crime boss, and basically we find out that Senator Doherty and I guess Don Ho, because I'm not going to say his character's name, they want to remove that one last apartment, which the only tenant now is Joe. Mm-hmm. They want to get rid of that apartment so he can build a giant maximum security prison in the East Village of New York.
Yeah, because that would happen.
Right?
And why does he have like a model folded away? It's a scale model and everything, so he can just raise it up out of the table.
I have a question about that in general. Who do you think are all these companies that make these like models for all these evil landowners or whatever?
Well, here I guess the thing with it
Trump
is
Corporation.
if it were a company like the Nakatomi Corporation in Die Hard, they have that huge model in that boardroom. I understand that because they do have people who do have those architectural models for corporations, not usually for sitting governors.
Right. Not usually. No. So we do get I did kind of laugh at this part, even though I was like shaking my head at the same time. But like Lily and by the way, Pepa's character's name in this movie is Blank.
I thought she called her that.
Yeah, like literally Blank. But they're walking around and they see these kids and they're just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like building a crack house.
That was the second laugh I had in the whole movie.
I thought they said they were building a cat house.
No, a crack house, because they had all the
bro.
pipes, all the needles connected.
Yeah, but you smoke crack, you don't shoot it with needles.
Well, they had needles. I'm just saying what the movie had.
You're
I
thinking too much.
I thought you could take crack and then put it like in a spoon and light it up and then inject it.
I usually smoke it.
It's like that's what they do with heroin, man.
I don't know my drugs. I don't do drugs.
I'm gonna say you're describing heroin on me.
I thought you could do both.
I thought that was a solid joke that they were building a cat house for like a house for a little kitty cat, but they were making it out of used AIDS-riddled hypodermic needles. That's hilarious. Because it's for a little kitty cat.
No, Nathan, you were right. It was a cat house. The cat that escaped from it is the cat you'll see later on in the movie.
Oh,
there you go.
Good. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
ties it together.
Pet Cemetery 3.
Back at Joe's, he goes to sleep, and those 2 thugs from earlier break into the house and basically start destroying everything in sight. I thought they were just coming in to kill him, so I don't know why they also have to destroy everything. Like,
I don't know.
Because why, Brent?
Because plots.
There you
To
go.
make it look like a robbery gone wrong.
Oh, that's true. Oh, there you go.
I guess. Okay.
Yep. I apologize, the writer of this film. You did a splendid job.
I say she more thought than the writers.
Also, hit us up and let us know if it was cat or crack.
It was crack, man.
Also, if you're the writer of this movie, hit us up on Twitter because that's happened before.
Right. So, roach rescue.
Yeah, the roaches are like, well, we better save Joe, so they leap into action. And fight the thugs. Go on, what were you going to say?
This is it. They come to his rescue. It's still really gross.
Yep.
Okay, this was a bit for me because they start talking to Vlad and Jesus. That's the two tough guys.
Wait, one of them is named Jesus?
Right, I didn't get
Yes.
that.
Wow.
Jesus or Jesus.
Oh.
I hope it was Jesus.
Anyhow,
too.
so the roaches talk to these guys.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler, later in the movie, they tell Joe that he can't leave or they'll have to kill him because people can't know that roaches know how to talk.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense then, does it?
In a movie like this that's so tightly made,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Criterion Edition.
Jesus Christ. Joe's apartment now with 6 commentary tracks.
3 different versions.
Deleted scenes, an hour and 40 minutes of them, just like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Feature-length documentary.
We have so many deleted scenes, we made a separate movie.
I'm buying it day one.
If the behind the scenes documentaries are like any of the ones on Terry Gilliam's movies, I'm in.
Just have the cockroaches on the desk and just have a microphone up to them.
Just honest as fuck. Like Jerry O'Connell being like, I can't work with this. I can't work like this.
So after the roaches rescue him,
They shoot the roaches with guns.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
I was gonna say, don't skip that part.
No. And they actually go bowling with the guys, and it's all sped up because, like you said before, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
And but after that, they tuck Joe in and everything. And when he gets up in the morning, he thinks it's all a dream. And he pours himself some cornflakes.
Just let me get the bucket 1 second. Because this scene was one of the worst for me.
I was eating watching this too.
Oh my god.
We both were.
She was just so put off by this scene. Kind of like that.
Yep. Well, can I tell you something else that I learned about this scene?
What's that?
So when Joe has the roaches in his spoon, because he pours the cereal out and there's roaches in his cereal, he puts the milk in. He goes to take a spoonful. There's a couple roaches in his spoon. When he puts that in his mouth, that's real.
I believe it.
That's, yeah.
He had real roaches in his mouth?
He had real roaches in his mouth for that quick
Committed
shot.
to the craft.
And do you know
Acting.
do you know what website I found that out at?
Wikipedia? I don't know.
Box
No.
Office Mojo.
No, there's a site. I was googling it because I wanted to see like, because there are shots of the roaches that are real. Like there are a few shots where they're just sped up, but they're real roaches. So I looked at I just googled it and I got this like American Humane Association website, and it was saying like all the times that they were real and like when they were CGI in the movie, and it said the actor Jerry O'Connell put real roaches in his mouth, but then the camera the camera cut right when he put them in his mouth and then started again as he was taking them out. So like no roaches were harmed, and I was like, that's disgusting. You did not have to make that real.
So that's where a couple of million in that budget went to.
There you go.
The Roach Wrangler.
Making sure that the SPCA guy was on set too.
I thought you were going to say making sure the SPCA guy was on break.
$10 million to the Humane Society.
So, yeah, he almost eats the roaches, and then they're like, hey, over here, fruitcake, or whatever they say. All the lovely things they say.
And how many did they say were living in the apartment?
40,000.
40,000.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That is
so gross.
really gross. So Joe is like, they're like, hey, we can all talk, but most people just smush first, ask questions later. And I'm like, what questions do they ask?
Where can I get a good roach control?
Yeah,
product?
Smush. Oh God, where's the toilet paper? I get this off my hand.
Right.
Where's Vincent D'Onofrio?
Hey Brent,
Good.
give me sugar in water.
That's going on at the same time as this movie. That's where the cockroach is coming from.
What's next is the we get a montage, don't we?
Get a montage.
Yeah, he keeps losing all his jobs.
Did you guys see the other cameo in this scene?
No.
One of the guys who fires Joe is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
He's the one wearing like the construction hat.
Oh shit, I don't even remember.
It's like a 3-second shot, but I looked up and I was like, holy fuck, that's Bam Bam Bigelow. And considering this is 1996 and that one half of Salt and Pepa was also in this movie, I'm like, were they filming this around the time of WrestleMania 11?
Oh,
It's
shit, connections.
all connected.
The worst.
And like,
The best WrestleMania.
why did Bam Bam Bigelow go down to say, you're fired, and then leave? What was the point of that cameo?
Yeah.
Papa
Did you
was
see the
like,
name of the pizza place too?
what's the name of the pizza place?
It was called Retardo's Pizza.
Oh no.
And they had it real big in the shot, like ha ha ha.
That makes sense. It's 1996 MTV.
Oh boy. I didn't even notice that.
I saw that, I was like, ooh.
So, all right.
Hashtag
so when
dicey.
When Joe gets off the bus at the first of the movie, he's wide-eyed and Iowa innocent. In the next scene, he's having a beer breakfast.
Yep.
He's only been in New York how long? And he's already turned into a total skis.
Hey Nathan, New York changes you.
And it does, Takahashi. It really does.
Wait, I'm Takahashi.
Ishiro.
Yeah.
You're Takahashi.
No, you're Takahashi. I'm
No, you're
Ishiro.
Takahashi.
Yeah.
I'm Dirty Dan.
What the fuck?
Who's on first?
Kayfabe.
So this is where we get the cat scene, I think.
Your
Yes.
favorite.
Oh, because he gets fired from all these jobs because the roaches are like, oh, they're in a pizza, which is also really gross. He gets fired as like a priest and a clown, or at least a priest or a clown's assistant.
A clown
this-
priest.
Clown priest. Hey
This
kids,
fall from the
oh,
asylum.
oh my god,
Yeah.
when's that coming up on the show?
Oh no, it was the clown from Ghetto Blaster, Brendan.
Oh my god, that movie is amazing.
Oh, you gotta show Nathan that one day.
You do need to watch Ghetto Blaster.
Yes.
Immediately.
I've
That's where
heard.
the child murder came from.
I know.
Oh, that was the origin.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's beautiful.
First 5 minutes.
So what are you gonna say, Nathan?
I was gonna say, we get another back and forth banter with the roaches here,
Oh,
and the movie has done a thing where they didn't want to pay for all the roach animation all the time.
Yes.
So they turn the stuff in Joe's apartment into puppets.
Okay.
Like they kind of move when the roaches talk, so
Yeah.
it looks like the objects are talking.
That made no sense.
Well, yeah, that's true, but it did have a really great payoff for me, anyways. In this one, because this time around they did it, the roaches were in this moldy, gross sandwich, and Patty did exactly that when the moldy, gross sandwich full of roaches was talking.
Sorry.
This is my Hollywood homicide.
Whoa, what? Oh, right. Harrison
statement.
Ford's sex scene.
Yeah, exactly. So she did that, and then they panned away, and I said, "Can I ask you, was it the roaches or the moldy sandwich that made you do that?" And she was like, "The moldy sandwich."
Actually, yeah, kind of me too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it doesn't... Well, first of all, like, yes, this movie is ridiculous enough, but it doesn't make sense because when I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? Is everything able to talk? It's like...
We get another musical number because there weren't enough of them in this movie.
I think it's the one I played earlier, the garbage one.
Yeah.
And then the cat shows up. Out of nowhere, like an RKO.
Right, we get another cat rodeo.
Yeah, because, well, and then this cat, like, I don't know, did it just crawl through the window? Because it's not Joe's cat.
Yeah, he didn't go out and get it or anything.
And in the first shot, when they first showed the cat, did anyone else think that it was missing an ear?
I didn't notice.
No.
Because I was like, oh, it's missing an ear. And then they was like, wait, this cat has both ears. Did they just cut to a different cat? It's like, did they replace the cat and forget to, like, change it?
What? Oh.
Definitely
I think
not.
this is. No.
No. Of course not.
Not this movie.
No.
Criterion Collection, remember?
Behind the scenes of the special effects, it's a 5-minute feature.
5 minutes?
Wow, most of it's credits, Brent.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that happens. They ride the cat like a horse. It jumps on Joe's face. We get the stretchy cartoon arms. He's trying to pull the cat off.
Wasn't the cat growling at one point?
Yeah, it's making all sorts of like ridiculous cartoony noises, and then the roaches are like, you saved us, Joe. I want to ask Brent and the Spirit how they felt about this next part.
Okay.
Because Joe gets in a suit, and he walks out to go get a job, and this can of paint drops on him. Purple paint. Walter Shit shows up and says, it's my new art project, Instant Minority.
I forgot all about that.
How'd you feel about that part?
If only it were that easy.
I felt nothing, sir, because I was dead by this point watching this movie.
I was dead.
The 3 laughs I had in the whole movie had already passed.
And then Joe immediately is like, there's no purple people in the world. Like,
If you're dark
explaining.
enough. No, I'm just kidding.
What was that?
You don't want to lose no more listeners, V.
No, I want to hear it.
I said if you're dark enough, you are.
Hey, it was our guest that said it, not us.
There you go.
Send all messages to Home Video Hustle.
Yeah, at HVH Podcast on Twitter or at The Spirit 95.
There you go. That's
I'm gonna get hella hate. Like, you light skinned.
damn colorist. That's what's wrong with America.
Oh, God.
It's reverse racism.
What have we done, Brendan?
I don't know, but I'm staying out of it.
Open the floodgates, turning into Home Video Hustle now. Yeah.
That's right. We wanted to do a nice podcast about a crappy MTV movie from the 90s, and it turned into an international incident.
Donald Trump canceled the What Were They Thinking podcast.
Oh, no.
They're not huge.
Too much diversity on that show.
That's right. You got too many black people in here. It's 2 people. It's too much.
50%, are you kidding me?
Oh, shit. Deport us to Canada. We'll be happy.
Please.
Yeah, come on up. You're more than
Tired of
welcome.
my student loans already.
Oh, so instant minority. So he's wearing the paint, and it basically ruins his chance of getting a job I guess he was going to go apply for. But never fear, because Walter Shit is in a band, yo.
I got a question.
Yeah?
Is Walter Shit like the less talented nephew of William Sadler?
I thought it was him. I swear to I thought it was him. when
I
he
thought it
first
was him
popped up.
too.
I thought he kind of had a Tom Waits vibe.
Well, okay.
Yeah, just his look, not the way he talked or anything.
Not the way he talked at all.
No. He wasn't like, I'm Walter Shit.
Tara Reid.
I got a band.
You ever see Alone in the Dark? I was in that movie.
I played a scientist.
It's slowly turning into Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm about to say.
I had pretty good chemistry with Steven Dorff. Oh, it was Christian Slater that I was with? I'm Tara Reid. I'm high all the time.
There go the Tara Reid audience, B. You losing
Oh,
more
fuck.
listeners.
So anyway, Walter Shit is like, yeah, you can be a drummer in my band. Wait, do you know how to drum? No. Perfect. So he's postering all over this building, just the word shit. And I'm like, I don't know if postering in the same place is the best way to advertise.
Yeah, it was not a well thought out placement of bills on either of their parts.
Like, has he ever worked an indie wrestling show? Come on. Oh. But yeah, then again, he does meet up with Lily again, who is also, like you said, Nathan, doing the same dumb postering habit.
Yeah.
Was she covering up his posters?
No, she's just on the other wall, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, they meet at like the corner.
Oh, and they
that's
have
right.
like a dumb like misinterpretation thing where she's like, "Oh shit, I could use some of that for my garden,"
Yeah.
and it's like, "Oh, because it's fertilizer." Get it? Get it? Thank you. Mic drop. Plot.
It's so funny.
Hey, oh my goodness.
Oh,
Milosh's sister.
Milos, your sister's in studio.
Visiting us in Ohio.
He's still locked up after the last Carlo Gugino incident.
Don't say it too loud. Don't say it too loud.
No, lock him in, Nathan. Is he locked in?
He's locked in. It's
Okay.
it's sealed. It's sealed.
He's in that saw contraption with the jaw and shit.
What? We're not serial killers.
Wow.
That's what you want him to think.
I wrote down that I think the cockroaches are basically all like secretly Andrew Dice Clay, because they're like, girls like it when you give them shit.
Oh, so Nathan loves him then.
Yeah. Well, they're just as gross.
These roaches and whatnot. They're
gonna go on tour with Roseanne.
Oh god, don't even. Fuck Roseanne. So
Ew.
no,
I don't
right?
not.
Pretty
Nah.
wanna fuck Roseanne.
I mean, whatever. I got a light switch.
Is this the part where he starts getting advice from the roaches to date her?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
they give him like a roach shoulder rub.
Yep. Yep. And this is also leading up to the part that, like, no joke, this was the part that got me the closest to vomiting. Is when he's going around town collecting literal shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's sitting on the bus with it too, wasn't he?
Oh, and the extras acting in this movie is fantastic because they're so over the top in the background, like P.U.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't know, Criterion.
Interview
Man.
with the dung wrangler.
I was the shit man on this movie.
Was it the same person wrangling the roaches?
Yes.
Obviously not.
With
Oh.
shitty fingers.
Walter shit.
There you go. That was the roach wrangler.
He was also acting in the movie. That explains a lot. So yeah, the roaches say dames like it when you give them shit, and he takes it literally and starts collecting shit from around the
Well,
city.
Yeah,
She
what
did
else
like
would I
it.
do? Yeah.
Technically.
Exactly what she needed.
But then guys, he looks out the window of the bus and he sees her being embraced by some man that he can't see
Oh.
his face. Looks like she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the shadows, but I thought it was a black dude. I was like, oh shit.
It's blank.
Yeah, progressiveness.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we've been
See,
saying.
Criterion.
Brent. That's what we've
Down
been
with the
saying.
squirrel.
Chasing Joe.
Directed by Charles Burnett.
Oh shit.
No, it's her father. She was hugging her father. And they go to lunch, and we get the other reference to him liking dresses and all that, because he asks her, he gets distracted by her, like, earrings or something.
Yeah.
Not a lot happens in this scene. We just get the idea that she wants to make her garden, and he wants to put the prison up, and they're conflicting over that.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe, disgustingly drops off the bag of shit in his apartment. Just, like, drops it on the fucking floor. Like a disgusting monster. And,
Brendan, you judging much?
no, it was gross. And apparently roaches can get postcards.
Yeah.
That's a thing. One of them, I
Roach
think,
mail.
was from the White House, because I'm pretty sure one of them had the White House on the postcard.
Forget snail mail, it's roach mail.
Bam!
Better joke than this movie.
That's a better joke than any joke in this movie. I agree.
Criterion jokes.
Criterion.
I did have a note for when she did have dinner with her dad. That was like, It's the one not gross meal in this movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Joe finally gets set up with a job because his mom gets him an interview with a guy that owns the biggest urinal cake manufacturer.
Yep.
And I want to play one other little clip here because this was gross, and it wasn't even like a visual grossness. This was just gross, the dialogue that he said. So, yeah, the urinal cake guy knows Joe's mother, and they kind of reminisce a little bit, and it gets real creepy. Listen in.
So, you're an Iowa boy, like me.
Yes, sir. Went to Murchison High School.
Good old Murchison. Go Bullfrogs.
Yeah, but my mom could do that cheer really well. She was a varsity cheerleader.
Oh, I remember. Your mom was the hottest tomato in school. Does your mom still wear her hair in that sexy way? Does mischief still sparkle in her eye, that minx? Mommy still got that saucy swing to her hips? Did Mommy ever give you a sponge bath?
No, thank you. Oh, and the worst thing is, it's almost like one of those, like, you watch those, like, extras on fucking, like, a Judd Apatow movie or something, they got the line-o-rama.
Yeah.
It's almost like that, and they just kept every line.
I'm just mad he called her a tomato.
Of all the damn things.
Wait, were you more bothered than that by him saying, "Did Mommy give you a sponge bath?"
No, but it was
Okay.
the first thing that like made me like, why are you calling her a tomato?
Because she was red and gushy.
It was that time of month.
There you go. That's the joke, baby.
Wow. Nathan,
Just please don't
thoughts?
call me a tomato.
I was just it was an old timey slang said by an old timey guy.
Tomato, New York, forget about it.
Yeah. I thought it was Charles Durning at first.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was supposed to be someone like that I should have known, and then I looked him up. I was like, nope, no idea.
I thought it was the dad from Tommy Boy at first.
They only got that $13 million budget. Oh, Brian Dennehy?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That would have been great.
David Huddleston, that's the actor's
Actually,
name.
no, that name does sound familiar.
They said Tom Hiddleston
Well,
at first.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, it was Loki.
Does mother spank you?
He's so method that he
dang.
traveled.
Jesus. So method that he changed his name?
Traveled back in time.
Yeah.
Aged a good 60 years.
That's makeup.
Put
man.
on
What
a
you talking
ton of
about?
weight.
Oh my god.
That's that budget for you.
Oh, you want to know something? He was the character Peter in Postal.
No.
He was
Wait, what?
one of the old guys.
What? Oh, is it one of the guys that's like, I'm gonna fuck her or something like that?
Yep.
Oh,
I remember
God.
that. I can see it now.
God damn. So he's a repeat offender.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Creepy in this role too. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Play to
Maybe
your
that's-
type, man.
Maybe that's his thing. But back at Joe's, guys, speaking of creepy, they're watching Roach TV with some bondage porn.
Roach porn.
Roach porn, yeah.
Did you notice they were eating Ray's potato chips?
No, I didn't.
Not Lay's potato chips.
It's very unfortunate that I know that now.
There's a brand of chips here called Uncle Ray's, too.
Are they for cockroaches?
I
Must
bet.
be.
I was gonna say, I bet they don't look exactly like Lay's potato chips, but with the L changed to an R.
Oh, guys, we totally forgot the hilarious joke that the company that makes the urinal cakes is named P.I. Smith and Sons, or Piss.
Piss.
And his job is retrieving urinal pucks even at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that's where they send him. Yeah, they send him like a video message. It's like, go to Yankee Stadium, collect all the urinal cakes, and then give them to us for research. What?
It's like the worst side quest in an RPG.
Final Fantasy 16.
Man, I really have to go into every fucking bathroom in this quest? Circle, 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 circle.
That's the whole
Give
game.
me an IGN walkthrough.
Is there a cheat? Is there one I can start with where it doesn't take as long?
Watch all the Twitch streams.
Which one has the fucking key? So, it's at this point where Joe meets up with Lily again and tries to get her to go to one of his shows because they're going to do a concert. Because remember, he's in that shit band. And it doesn't go well, guys.
No.
Joe is obviously an awful drummer because he's not a drummer. But you know, Lily's okay with that, and they're gonna go to his place.
Oh Jesus!
This is where the short comes in, right?
This is the short that the movie is based on. The following 3 minutes is what the source material is. But before that, they were singing a song about a towel, and they were like putting it in the toilet, which I think had piss in it.
Towel
Probably.
got the funk. Funky towel, towel got the funk.
Oh God, yeah,
The
that's
music listeners fan base gone.
all the towel fans are gone.
They
Yeah.
them too.
But yeah, they're
And
just
piss
dipping
fans.
the
There's-
towel in piss and just like singing about a towel.
There's a couple of things here that we ran past. There's at one point
I know.
where, well, there's the point with a plant where I thought the roach was going to give Joe a weed plant for her to grow in her garden.
Oh, you mean where that bag of shit grows like a plant grows out of it
That's super rare plant. Yeah.
overnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Are you thinking
Is
again,
it-
Brendan?
I just said it's a cartoon.
Okay,
But
I'm just making sure.
he gives her. Why does he give her urinal cakes? Because he tells them they're like a fertilizer, and they're handling used urinal cakes
she's putting
with
it up
their
to her nose.
bare hands. Yes.
Yeah, I actually would not have been surprised if she like just tried to bite it for some
I thought
reason.
she was going to, so I was waiting on it.
Yeah.
It had piss dripping out her mouth or something. I was waiting for it, man. I'm telling you.
So yeah, then they do that. Then they have the terrible performance art, and I know they've already met, but I like to call this their derp meet because it's just fucking goofy and terrible. They get splashed by a bus,
Yeah.
and that's how he gets her back to his disgusting apartment.
Yeah. This movie's gross.
Okay, now with the funky towel musical number,
Oh, we're gonna dive deep. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
the first time we see
Criterion.
them do right when they do the musical number for Joe,
Yeah.
that's for Joe. Okay, who are they doing this musical number for? Are they just randomly bursting into song?
Doing it for you, Nathan.
It's
That's what I appreciate about them.
for us.
There you go.
Towel got the funk.
They're doing it for the
Funky
soundtrack.
towel.
Oh my God, I would not touch this soundtrack with a fucking 200-foot pole.
Guess what you're getting for Christmas?
Brent, if you send me the goddamn Joe's Apartment soundtrack, I will
Find
give
it on
you the
vinyl.
worst. I will give you the worst fucking listener's choice thing I can find.
I'm gonna send you the vinyl and the Criterion Blu-ray.
But okay, so Joe. I'm really trying to move this along.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe told the roaches, "You guys need to behave, please behave, because I want to make a good impression.
I wanna get
And they're
my dick
Oh
wet."
yeah, for sure, Joe." And then they proceed to do a giant musical number, wreck the towel, just make a roach peace sign in the bathroom. It's just they don't behave at all, is what I'm getting at.
Nope. But they do recreate the short film because he and Lily are sitting on the... I wrote down Roach Bow for some reason. I don't know why. Do they do like
Oh.
Thai bow or something?
They were there with Billy Blanks in the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. I was probably just losing my mind when I wrote that.
I know one of the roaches gives Joe a condom. He's like, "You're probably gonna need this, Joe."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, never accept condoms from roaches, guys. If you take anything from this podcast, take
Condom
that advice.
brand condoms too.
I thought that means they're the best ones.
No, I guess so. I'm not
Even the condom companies were like, Joe's Apartment? No, thank you.
Fuck that.
And we have to talk about the most romantic scene in the movie. Joe and Lily are making out on his couch.
Well, they're about to.
And and the roaches, they want to get a peek. They want to watch them make out, the pervs.
Yeah.
And they're swinging back and forth on the light fixture, and they're causing a little too much emotion and weight, and they all topple over, and these roaches dump everywhere.
And we get this great CG shot of them just like flying out of her cleavage.
Yep.
I hope that was CG. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, you never know. Again, she wasn't as adventurous as Jerry O'Connell.
Another point where Patty was almost sick.
And then after this, so Lily runs out of the building, and this just like, she goes outside and she sees that her garden that she's been working on so hard has been burned to the ground by those two thugs from earlier.
Vlad and Jesus.
And at this point, so she screams and cries, and she quits her job too at this point, right?
That's later.
Yeah.
Yes, she has like a fit.
Yeah, because Joe calls back. I literally have this as the next scene, so I don't know what I skipped, but Joe calls into the
blackouts.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, no. Before she quits her job,
listening.
don't they have like a face off or a species off between Joe and the roaches?
Well, no, because I think before that he calls her because, or wait.
No, this is probably where you were talking about the cockroach bow, because Joe goes like Rambo.
Yes,
on
that's
these
what it
guys.
is. Roach bow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He's throwing like roach gas grenades in, and one of the roaches, my babies.
That killed me.
I did laugh at that too. I forgot about that.
The thing is, does this posit that roaches possibly lactate? I mean, she's carrying their children to the bosom of her. Right.
That's...
And
uh-oh, she's about to get deep.
So I read this article that they were
going to
actually...
talk about what I think you're going to talk about? I know what you're going to talk about.
Are we really going to talk about roaches fucking lactating?
Sort
you did this, Brendan. You did this. No, actually, Nathan did this. I'm sorry.
There was actual talk of marketing and selling roach milk.
Oh.
What are
Canada.
you talking about?
There's actually roach ice cream you can get right now.
Oh.
Brendan, Christmas, it's on, bruh.
One of my coworkers found an article about cockroach ice cream and cockroach milk.
Cock milk.
And how that's something different, Brent. Usually served with bananas, young man.
I would have rather watched banana porn.
I'm doing it right
now. And we spent the better part of a shift just talking about cockroach milk and grossing out anybody who would listen. At 40, I'm still that immature.
Hey,
Good
it's
Lord.
still funny.
I like the idea of calling it cock milk for short, though.
Honey, go to the store and give me some more of that cock milk.
But I only had the nut juice.
Make your own.
Make your own.
I give it to you from the tap, girl.
Homemade, baby. So
yes, now Lily loses her shit because apparently she's jaded now.
And she started smoking.
Yeah.
Because she's so jaded. She's like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do. Fuck this city. She doesn't say that because one of the roaches says fuck later on because they get one.
It's PG-13.
Yeah, they get the one F-bomb. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what the hell this was rated.
Yeah, I mean PG-13 where you guys are. It's probably like G in Canada. Let's be real.
Gangsters in Canada.
Man, you cannot. It is difficult to find an 18A movie or rated R or whatever in Canada.
Really?
Like it just doesn't happen.
We actually have two. We have rated R and we have 18A. And 18A is supposed to be, I guess, a hard R.
Well, yeah. R is like if you're under 18, you're not going no matter what. Whoever, doesn't matter who you're with.
Mm-hmm.
And 18A is like if you're under 14, you can't go no matter what. But if you're 14 to 17, you go with an adult. That kind of thing.
So a Serbian film is G-rated in Canada.
Well, Brent, come on, it's PG.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
There's mild tension in the movie.
Pretty gross. That's what the PG stands for.
Pretty great.
Pretty gross.
Oh, Patreon, get them on Patreon.
Yeah, it stands for Patreon. Get 'em.
Yeah, because it's on the list. So tell them to get them all you want. We've already covered our bases on that. Nope.
Somebody donate $500 and make them watch it.
Nope.
Oh, Nathan would do it for $500.
Nope.
He say that now.
$10 for the first 2 minutes.
We gonna hit the lottery, and I'm gonna send y'all $1,000 and be like, watch it.
Please do.
See, he ain't say no that time. B, you noticed that?
Yeah, I know. He can be bought.
Everybody's got his price.
All right, back to this fucking movie.
Yeah, we get a dramatic Iowa speech and then dramatic roaches.
They do like a Braveheart type speech, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they basically get him down on the ground. They've got the raid ready to go. They're going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Like, this is like a murder scene. And I was actually like, oh, cool. It's getting a little darker. But then, of course, they just fucking reverse everything. But it looks like it's going to get like a little darker. And they're actually going to it's going to be a fight to the death between Joe and the cockroaches. But unfortunately, that does not happen because the thugs set the building on fire. And the roaches are like, well, fuck this. We're out.
Now, they use urinal cakes to create this fire, or do I have urine cake fire for another reason?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Because it would stand to reason, because the next note after urine cake fire in my notes here is what in the actual fuck.
It's the whole movie in one note.
That could be any scene in this movie, Nathan.
It happened before the sewer surfing.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Where they were going dung, 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 dung.
Get it, listeners?
'Cause it's
Do you
poop.
get it?
It's funny, right?
So Joe is tied up. He manages to get his way out, but this part I was a little confused by because he makes his way out of the building as the building's coming down. But we cut to the next day and he's in a garbage bag?
Oh, I thought he was in a body bag. I didn't think about a trash bag.
Well, no, he was just like
Oh, shit.
moving around and stuff, and then the next day he gets up and suddenly he has to make his way out of a garbage bag, and I was like, I don't remember that scene.
Maybe that's why it says what the actual fuck in my notes.
You know what? Probably. And this being 77 minutes, I'm guessing something got cut.
It's in the Criterion deleted scenes, bro.
Right. It's 5 of the 100 minutes of deleted scenes.
But I guess they start heading towards the end because
Yes, we do.
the roaches redeem themselves, or try to, because they try to help Joe by forging government documents.
This is the biggest Deus Ex Machina ever.
Yeah.
Because they basically just what?
Oh, it's God in the machine.
No, I'm just saying, what?
Oh.
I thought you were asking what it was.
Nah.
You've seen enough movies to know Deus Ex Machina. You've seen enough of...
Or a video game called Deus Ex.
Yes, there is.
See, hey.
And there's a movie called Ex Machina. And it's great.
I own that.
Yeah, so the roaches are forging documents. They're growing a garden, which they
Out
do...
of a giant urinal cake.
Yeah, which they do overnight.
Yeah.
And when Joe gets up, oh, it's beautiful. The senator and Lily arrive to announce the prison, but the senator is so overwhelmed by the beauty of the garden, he's like, you know what? They say that day that senator's heart grew 3 times its size.
That's all it took, was just that.
Yeah.
And that's the weakest resolution ever.
Right,
Running out
he's
of
just
money,
a good
man.
guy. He's just a good guy now.
Yeah.
And, but Nathan, it's not over because Don Ho is back.
Who?
Yes, and he's just gonna kill everybody.
Don, morally challenged.
Interesting tidbit, because it's a tidbit that's interesting.
Uh-oh.
It's an interesting tidbit.
Tits.
Kill 'em all, inspired by Don Ho. Not really, but wouldn't that be great?
It would be. Just like Maggie Smith being a wrestling champion.
Yeah.
That didn't happen?
Well, I mean, yes, it did, because we never lie.
ECW champion.
Well, WCW, she beat
That's
she
right,
beat Sid
WCW,
Vicious.
that's right.
Yeah.
Is Joe now, a Roach King, like the Rat King from the Ninja Turtles?
I would assume.
Okay.
I would assume he eventually turns into the Toxic Avenger.
Oh shit!
And then leads an army of roaches.
They're his Toxic Crusaders.
It all ties into the Tromaverse. What I'm trying to say is... But yeah,
Jacob's Ladder scenario. When he got mugged the first time,
wouldn't have not have been surprised. Wouldn't that have been such a dark ending? Joe's just laying there dying at the end of
in the bus station in New York. It would certainly explain the cartoon physics of everything.
Exactly. Well, yeah. So again, like you said, this Don morally questionable. And the thugs are like, we're gonna kill
professional prostitute.
Okay, fine, that's better. I don't mean to pass moral judgment on his occupation, but him and his thugs are like, we're gonna kill everyone. But then, lo and behold, they've been standing on a bunch of roaches. Which, by the way, wouldn't he be killing some of them? Possibly, if he's standing on them?
Yeah, probably,
but they've been standing on the roaches the whole time, not the solid ground. And when the roaches move, they all fall into the sewer in a cartoony, over the top way.
So the roaches were hovering there.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Shit, I didn't even think about that.
Just like when you go to take a shit in a public washroom.
That's
everything about this movie was very 90s MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So they're, I don't know if they're dead, but they're in the sewer. And Joe goes to Lily's apartment this time, and one of the roaches decides to get in the bath with him. Gross.
A little boat.
Yeah, and he's like, Joe is a little ungrateful for all the work they've done. It's so much so that he drowns one of the roaches for a moment.
He just sticks it down by his junk.
Yeah. I don't want to see where that scene was going after that.
Roach milk.
Oh, God. Cock milk.
There you go. Straight from the tap, Roach.
So then Joe and Lily just start making out. And sorry, I did want to skip over that. One of the cockroaches said, "You should tell Lily I'm gonna bop you till your ears bleed." So that was nice. They wear some very pretty house coats and just start going to town on each other. The roaches are gonna stick around. Everyone's happy, and the roaches sing again to take us to the credits.
Thankfully,
it's a cockroach gregation.
Yep, one last music number. Just had to get that in there.
And it's a churchy one.
Yeah, very much.
Yep.
It's for the black crowd.
The 2% of people who watched it.
Let's get all the folks who tune into Yo MTV Raps to come see the movie too.
Wasn't it? I think it was off by 96 too.
This is why I got you on the show.
To make those jokes.
Yeah. Me and Nathan can't make them.
Oh, you can, but you know.
We won't. So I will ask this question that I want you all to ponder for a long time, because I know it's going to be difficult. Brent,
yes.
The Spirit.
Yes.
Would you recommend this film?
I'll let her go
to my worst enemy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, in the spirit of the home video hustle, what did you guys give it out of 10?
I was giving, man, look. 1.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
I really didn't enjoy this experience. Thank you, Nathan.
Mine
Spirit?
did not make it onto there. Like, mine was like a -2.
Normally, he likes bugs. I mean, he's always trying to get me to watch that Centipede movie.
That's a better movie than this one. That's Criterion shit compared to this.
That's a 10.
Nope.
A Serbian film is better than...
And Nathan, would you recommend Joe's Apartment?
To wreak vengeance upon those who have wronged you. Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to say absolutely not is disgusting. This movie was gross. It made me feel gross. It looked gross. It sounded gross. Everything about it was horrifying. 10 thumbs down, 5 stars.
When we finished watching it, Patty looked at me and was like, who would watch that? Who would pay to see that? And I was thinking, like, 96? I would have. Yep.
Well, at this point, guys, we're going to take a brief break because we need it after that. And we will be right back.
What were they thinking?
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLUCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLUCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk. And we're back!
Hey, how's it going here?
Hey. Brent, how's the weather out there in the copter?
It's hot as fuck, B.
Well, it's time. I hope everyone's ready.
Switch over to NPR.
Yeah. It's time to get some poetry up in here.
Yes, it's time for the low haiku.
What? Sorry.
Please get your dog away from the microphone.
Cock milk.
You'll have to pardon my co-host. He needs to drink 4 cups of gravy a day to stay alive.
That is correct.
So, the low haiku.
Low haiku.
17 syllables that accurately and affectionately depict the movie we just watched.
Did you say affectionately?
If it strikes you.
It does.
Okay.
In terms of vomit.
All right, let's get on with the low haiku.
Okay, so since they are our guests, Brent and Spirit, would one of you like to begin?
Okay.
Okay.
Proceed.
Roaches as roommates, shit bands, pee pads, and more shit make a shitty flick.
Very good, very good, very good. Excrement.
Yes, indeed.
Brent, go ahead.
Yeah, alright. What were they thinking? This shit was whack as hell, yo. Fuck off with cock milk.
Excellent
Delicious.
to that. Yeah.
What were they thinking? Brought to you by cock milk.
It's the milk that comes out of your cock.
You might need to cut that one.
Oh, what? They're not a sponsor?
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare. Brent wants it raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw.
Cock milk. Okay, Nathan, go ahead.
90s, Jerry-O. The most 90s thing in a while. Oh, God. Roach.
Snap, 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 snap. All right. And I will read my low haiku. Jesus fucking Christ. I think I'm gonna be sick. Ah! So long, sucker!
He ran off to go get more cock milk.
I call that the Captain America getaway.
Very good. Very good. Good deep cut to
Thank
an
you.
old good episode.
Thank you.
Not the best audio quality, but still.
It'll be fixed in post.
No, the old episode.
Oh, yes. That will not be fixed in post. And we're out.
We're back.
Is it still hot as fuck, Brent?
Hell yeah, B.
It's hot every day. You be all right.
You tough, right?
Oh, shit. Well, guys, Nathan, Brent, Spirit, we all didn't care for this movie too much. But what do we always say, Nathan?
Well, we always say...
Don't take a word for it.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. This actually boggled my mind a little bit because the critics' rating on this movie is 19%, which I was like, yeah.
Not surprising.
Yeah, that's fair. Should probably be lower. The audience rating, 42%. Which, okay, maybe people just like gross stuff, I guess.
People do like gross stuff.
But let's dive in here. So if I got the first critic here is Joe Layden of Variety, and he says, unfortunately, nothing that any of the humans contribute to Joe's apartment is nearly as interesting as the musical numbers and comedy riffs of the Cockroaches.
What?
I would argue neither is interesting.
Right.
Kevin Thomas from the Los Angeles Times writes, John Payson's Joe's Apartment may well have been a funny MTV short, but stretched to a feature length, it's got to be the most putrid picture since the Garbage Pail Kids movie nearly a decade ago.
No!
Wow.
Triggering memories.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's all coming back to me.
You know that's getting a collector's edition Blu-ray soon.
Garbage Pail Kids?
I'm dead. Shout Factory's releasing a collector's Blu-ray.
My dad loves that movie, and he collected the stickers.
Oh, your dad loves that movie?
I actually did like the movie.
Oh, God.
There y'all go. There's the one or two people.
Yeah, Shout Factory's like the Criterion Collection, but for mouth breathers.
So Joe's Apartment's coming then.
You know what? I can't say too much because they put out all the Mystery Science Theater box sets that I get. So
Me too.
Do you guys have a review you want to share?
I
with
got
us?
one that y'all gonna love.
Okay.
It says, "What's wrong with you people? Why has this movie such a low rating? I love those bugs everywhere. The special effects are okay. The story itself is a bit naive, but hey, it's a fairy tale. Everyone who likes Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Ants, Thumbelina by Don Bluth, or over-the-top sentimental romance like What Dreams May Come must like Joe's Apartment."
What?
That was a stretch.
What Dreams May Come is the same as Joe's Apartment.
Yes, sir. And they gave it a 7 out of 10 on there.
I'm going to call that person Elastigirl because that was a stretch.
Oh! Got a Disney reference then. Yeah, so here's one from Roger Ebert.
Oh, shit.
The insects have obnoxious piping little voices and sound like the chipmunks had inhaled helium.
well, he's not far off.
Yeah.
Daniel Etherington from Film 4 actually gave this a positive review.
Oh, he's no longer employed.
It's nicely realized by human and roach alike, and something of a landmark in cinematic grossness. See, people do like to be grossed out.
There's a bag of shit.
Oh my god, that's like one of the least gross things in this movie.
That was the grossest thing for me. Just when it plops down in his apartment, I was like, what? Spirit, do you have one?
Oh, I got one for you. Just read down right there. It's right there.
So,
He's like, just read it off the prompter. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, because y'all got to hear this shit right here.
10 out of 10, completely astonishing. 23 years later, I can still say the same thing I did in the womb. Absolutely genius. This movie was so indescribably entertaining to my father. It helped my parents get a divorce.
Oh, it's more.
His obsession became so strong that my mother couldn't take it anymore. Thus, my father became single. The aura of this movie probably explains why I was raised on nothing but ramen noodles and SpaghettiOs until I was 18. I greatly enjoyed this film, and I guarantee your dad will too. Maybe a little too much.
10 out of 10.
Yikes. That is terrifying.
Is there an authority we should contact?
Oh, man.
That is a cry for help.
Child was neglected.
That is like most American children. Like, that is,
It's all because
that
of
is
this
a
fucking
norm.
movie.
Joe's Apartment got me through my parents' divorce.
This movie called Broken Households.
Housebroken.
Like, that kid was actually doing good. He got ramen noodles and SpaghettiOs.
I know, right? Shit crazy.
my God.
Well, let's dive into the audience reviews there, folks. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, let's.
First one here, I actually wrote down the people's names this time. Don't usually catch that. But it's from Tyler S. And he gives it half a star. He says, watching this MTV creation is the equivalent of a brain aneurysm. It hurts and it's deadly. The plot makes it... Thank you for describing a brain aneurysm, Tyler S. The plot absolutely makes zero sense even before the opening credits start. The screenplay was painful to listen to. The comedy is gross and disgusting. The writing was nearly non-existent, and the idea goes above and beyond dumbfounded stupidity. Do I have to mention there are singing cockroaches with helium-pitched voices? You know what this movie is? Bad.
Okay.
5 stars.
Hey.
Just joking.
Melissa W. Was nice and concise with her review. Some really funny moments and a lot of sexism. Yuck. 2 stars.
I missed it. Shoot.
I was like waiting for that. I was waiting for you to follow up on that.
I mean, like, I've seen some pretty sexist movies, and I wouldn't necessarily say this was one of them.
It's a sexless movie.
Yeah, because they got roaches dumped on them.
You know what? Thank the Lord for that.
You know what? That's true.
Because if this movie had sex, yikes.
There was roach porn, but we didn't get to see it.
Oh,
We
is
did.
that one-
I'm sorry, Brent. Did you say we didn't get to see it?
You're right. You
We
know what,
didn't.
Brendan? We about to bring back an old segment. I'm about to look that up on Pornhub.
No.
Do not look that up.
It's too late.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I got a VPN. They can't see it.
Spirit, just talk over him.
Yeah, so one thing I thought was funny, though,
No
was
more banana
like the
porn.
roaches actually got more bases than Joe did, because they got to go down her shirt. He just got the lips.
That's right. This is true. The roaches got. Maybe
Got
they're
some
referring to
play,
sexism just like how the roaches are all basically Andrew Dice Clay.
They do talk considerably about how she's essentially an object to...
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Why are you looking this
Obtain.
up?
Oh, I just because this title of this porno is fucked up, but it made me laugh so hard. Do y'all
Go
want to know
on.
what it is?
Yeah, tell us.
I had to kill a few roaches before I fucked this ghetto slut. The fuck?
So our next
Lazy
review.
writing.
Our next
Oh,
review
shit.
is from Alex K. He gives it 2 stars, and his review is pretty simple and straightforward.
Oh my
He
God.
says, "My favorite comedy film is 1933's Duck Soup."
Okay.
That's his review of Joe's apartment.
All right.
There's fetish
well-
videos of girls crushing roaches.
Logic D says, "You gotta love bugs, but I found it I found it a very cool feature. To all the haters, why so serious?"
Oh, Heath L.
Grant, we were not sleeping in the same bed tonight.
Oh, he got couched.
That's alright. I got my roach videos now.
Oh, God.
You want
All
to
right.
jump off to that?
That's right. And that and girls shotting bananas out of their assholes.
Oh, God.
Shoddy, yes.
That's the best part of that
This
title.
is why we have separate Pornhub accounts.
All the good shit's on mine.
Wait, accounts?
Yeah.
The free ones, B, not the paid ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
a fan
like,
before.
don't fall for that, Brent.
Not anymore. I'm older now.
I can hit girls up and get free porn that way.
Oh!
Well, I've got one more review here, guys. It's a 3-star review, and it's from Squall C, and it says, "Thanks," and I'm not lying. This is what it says. "Thanks, Piers Morgan, for the nostalgia journey tonight."
What?
Okay.
Does he recommend this movie?
Sure.
I'm looking that up. I'm looking up Piers Morgan in Joe's apartment.
Oh my God.
Jessica H.
Yeah.
She writes, "They sing, they dance. It's what you would expect from MTV, but I like it." 2 stars.
Wait, what?
I feel like I would have liked this movie had I been under the influence while watching it.
The filmmakers probably were.
Wait, hold
No,
on.
like, I know how they came up with this idea. Like, they
Oh,
were
no.
legit in their first apartment Probably in New York. Everyone's first apartment in America has roaches. Apparently Canada doesn't, but in America it does.
They got
Silverfish.
They're in their first apartment and they're just high and they're just like, yeah, you know what? I feel like they're probably high on acid, which is why the roaches are talking and singing.
They were high watching the movie Mimic.
Oh my God, Joe's Apartment, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my God.
Criterion.
What is worse, roaches or silverfish?
Roaches.
Yeah.
Roaches can fly at you.
Not all of them.
Well, that's true.
Well, silverfish are considerably smaller and easier to get rid of.
Yeah. And I don't think they fly?
No, they just squiggle and worm their way along the
They
floor.
can get into
Not
your
all
cock
roaches
milk.
are huge, and you can also just throw down some boric acid. Them roaches gone.
Hot tips.
My first apartment. Yeah, no. My apartment didn't have roaches. My neighbor
I'm about
did.
to say, yeah, you get putting yourself out there, ain't you?
No, I was legit in the kitchen one day, and I just so happened to realize that there were roaches crawling through the vents from my neighbor's house.
Delicious.
Yeah, that
That's
was
right. Cock milk.
Let's just say I did not renew that lease.
Can't say I blame you.
Cock milk. Son of a bitch.
New catchphrase for what were they thinking? Hashtag.
Hashtag cock milk. So, I want to thank the Home Video Hustle.
Do you? You do,
I
right?
want to thank Brent and the
Okay.
Spirit for joining us here. Guys, where can they find you all on the interwebs?
Well, you can find us on Twitter at capital H, capital V, capital H, capital P, lowercase oddcast.
With 1D.
That's right. Just one D. That's all you need is just one D. And you can find the Spirit at what?
The Spirit 95.
Also on Twitter, and we're on Facebook, facebook.com/HVH Podcast. On Instagram, we're Home Video Hustle Podcast. On YouTube, just type Home Video Hustle in the search bar, and I'll show you ass. We'll be there with new videos for sure every Wednesday and sporadically throughout the week. Find us on Podcoin and all the other shit too, and we got a Patreon page if you want to make us watch something. We're not watching Joe's Apartment now because we've already done it here.
But you
PJ
did
got
watch.
lucky.
You did watch From Justin to Kelly.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
of y'all.
God.
Thank y'all for that.
No problem.
See, now I have to do something because y'all done got me twice. So,
Shit.
right. It's coming.
Type in movie
I got you. We got
similar to
you.
Joe's
I mean, we
Apartment.
got you twice.
Well,
you got us
I-
back
I-
with freestyle.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I got the Justin to Kelly, and then I got this.
That was for me and PJ. You just got with collateral damage on that.
Oh.
Collateral damage. When's that coming up on the show?
Oh, I own a
You
copy.
mentioned it in the first season, and we never did it.
Did
Me
we?
and Brent are fighting.
You mentioned it, yeah.
I'll show you some collateral damage.
That's an exact quote from that episode.
Oh my God, that's my favorite scene.
Flashbacks.
So anyway, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
But we're gonna drop a little hint ski for our next episode. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's a tall mountain. So there you go. That's our next. That's a clue for our next movie. You can. Actually, let's get Montrose in here as well.
You're right, yeah. Hello, it's a good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I heard what you were saying about what was going on in this movie, and I don't quite agree with it. So I'm kind of glad I stayed outside and kept Milos and Borsty company in their closet.
Okay.
Well, you know what? They're cleaner than this movie.
True.
Okay. So, but yes, I am here to say, please watch a better film and video on Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube. You can also find me on Facebook, Montrose Monkington III, Esquire, and Friends. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Montrose III. That's the number 3RD. Thank you. More later.
Thank you, Montrose. And
It was your pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Montrose. You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
No, thank you.
No, it was all your pleasure.
Okay, cock milk.
You're disgusting.
This was for dinner.
Thank you. It's the other I meet.
Brenda's catchphrase.
Oh, I just grossed myself out. So, as for us, we're also on the interwebs. You can find us on
are.
Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. You can also search for us on Facebook. You can find us. I'm all kerfluffled here. You can find us on all the podcatchers like Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all that good stuff. Roach Haven Enterprises, probably. Other cockroach-related podcast things. Insert joke
P.I.
here.
Smith and Sons official podcast.
You can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/WWTT podcast. We're on TeePublic and Redbubble. Search for us there as well. And I think that's it. And also, just to let you guys know, because we are kind of still new with this new format, I guess, the weekly format, stay tuned to the Twitter page on Monday, because Monday is when we reveal the movie that's coming up.
It's like the old days when we used to do it on Fridays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like the old days.
Everything that's old is new again. Just like me.
Hey.
But still not the oldest podcaster.
When's that t-shirt coming?
Yeah.
I'll get on the design this weekend.
Okay, perfect. So with that being said, Nathan, I want to thank our guests again, first of all.
Yes, thank you for
Thank you.
subjecting yourselves to this.
This wonderful film.
This Criterion movie.
This Criterion.
I hear it's in the Library of Congress.
Right next to Star Wars.
Yeah. The Smithsonian is going to have a traveling display, I think, with it.
It's being preserved for being like historically significant or whatever the fuck they say in that quote.
Historically and culturally significant.
There we go.
Yeah.
But having said all that, Nathan, I guess I do have a few questions.
Well, you go right ahead.
Well, I mean, in a movie where the roaches go in Joe's mouth.
Yep.
In a movie where there's a bag of shit.
You gonna be okay? Oh,
There it is.
Brendan.
Yeah.
Like, I'll let them know that you need to know.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? Blech.
Thanks for coming. It's been swell. Check back into our motel. Hope you didn't mind the smell. Joe's apartment, our home, sweet home.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one-liners, plot holes, or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy at eilfm.podbean.com.
Hey, this is Liz.
And this is Heather.
And we are Nerdy Bitches Podcast,
a show where two geeky ladies podcast their way through pop culture.
From movies and TV to our regular book club and everything in between, we bring you our favorite fandoms with a feminine eye.
We're talking Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, DC, Marvel, comic books, and anime.
And don't forget sci-fi, fantasy, action movies, video games, D&D, board games, and so much more.
Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you find awesome podcasts.
You can also find us hanging out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and at nerdybitches.com.
Talk to you soon.